Hey guys, this is going to be another quick Linux command video. Check the link in the description for more info and for copy and paste examples. Linux cat command will concatenate and print files to stdout. So let's take a look at what we have here. So we have four files, test 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we could say cat test3, and basically this is the most basic usage of the cat command. It will show the contents of test3. Now say if we said we could do the same thing for test4, and let's say if we wanted to do that for both of these at the same time. So test3 and test4. So what it's going to do is it's going to concatenate both of these files and then output them to stdout. So just like that, you have both files being output right there. So another thing you can do, you could cat a file and you can redirect the output to an output file. And the output file will now contain what was in there. So you could also, this will basically overwrite whatever was in output, assuming something was in there, and if nothing was in there, it creates the file and just writes it to that file. Now if you just want to append to a file, you can use two of these just like that. So now if we cat output, we see the content twice. So we could append a few times and check what's in there. And then we could overwrite it once and see how we've overwritten it like that. We basically wiped it out and just overwritten it with what was in test3. So any case, so yeah, append and overwrite. So you could also say, you can also cat test3 like this, and you could pipe it to another command like grep, and you could grep for the word test, or you could grep for the letter X, or you could grep for 1, 2, 3, and it's going to come up with nothing because that's not in the file. And you could, let's say if we, another example, we could say wc-l to count the number of lines in the file. So 3 lines. And you actually don't need to pipe cat for that. You actually don't need to do that for either of these commands. You could just run them directly with the file name. But this becomes useful once you start piping multiple commands and chaining them together. That's when that really becomes useful. Also, if you wanted to change what you were grepping for, it's a lot easier to change it right here rather than if you were to type grep and the file name at the end. It's almost the same thing though. In any case, I'm going to show you another really useful thing you can do with cat. So another thing is you can basically type lines of text from stdin and then output them to a file. So let's say if we say cat and specify a file name like this, we can say, let's just say the file abc.txt, right? Now press enter, and now we're able to type whatever text we want. We can say line of text, another, and then when we're done, we can say Control D, and that finishes it. Now let's take a look at what's inside ABC. That's all the stuff we typed up here. It was redirected into abc.txt, and there's the line of text, another line of text. Basically, you can do that, just terminate it with a Control D. Now another more useful thing you can do is to terminate it with an EOF, or an end of file string. So this next example is going to be really useful if you have like a big block of text and you want to automatically just redirect it to a file. Like say if you have the exact text that you want to go into a config file and you want to put that in a document so someone can just copy and paste it out of the document, paste it in the terminal, it's going to automatically redirect a whole block of text into a config file. That's a really convenient thing to be able to do. So rather than having to edit the file or anything like that, you don't actually have to edit it with VI or Nano or anything like that. So you can say cat, and you can say EOF. Now that string EOF could be any string you want, but EOF is just a common string that people use for it since it's the end of file terminator. It basically tells you when the file is going to be done. So I'll show you how this works. So you can, let's call the file xyz.txt and hit enter, and just like before, or similar to how we did it before, we can type in lines of text. Say line of text, another line, more text, and more, blah, blah, dot, 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 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to type. And then when you finally type EOF, right, the same thing that we put up here, EOF, hit enter, and it terminates it. Now, if we want to take a look at what we just did, we can cat out XYZ, and that whole big thing is right there. So that's actually really useful. That's really useful for copy pasting. So you could take this whole command here like this and just copy this command and paste it in and generate a file like that. So that's about everything I wanted to show you with the cat command for today. Remember, check the links in the description for more info. Hit the subscribe button for more useful content like this. We also have a ton of other more interesting content covering things like coding, hardware, software, servers, Raspberry Pis, 3D printing, and a whole lot more. Hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on that next video.